We used to think that the eye was the window to the soul, and it may still well be. But I realize now my patients tell me that the first thing they look at when they're speaking to someone is their teeth. Therefore, I get a lot of ladies coming to me saying, my boyfriend, my fiance, my husband, please, Dr. Leila, do something about their smile, because it just really annoys us, and it's super important. The smile gives us a lot of confidence. We need, obviously, our teeth to chew, to speak, but the smile is of so much value that only once you do smile makeovers and you give the mirror to somebody, and then 10 days later they message me and say, I have never smiled this big in my life.
I have never smiled so big.
This big in my life, yes. And I'm filled with confidence. Thank you for this. And a side note, they look 10 years younger as well. More than ever, people are stressed. Signs of bruxing, grinding is apparent. So as young as in their 30s, I'm seeing my patients literally have a hollow smile, which means their teeth are so small that when they talk, they see the dark inside, not the teeth. So we have to actually elongate their teeth, sometimes bring it outward, just depending. And this is a whole process from start to finish, from listening to the patient's wants and desires, then giving our advice, then doing our photographs, the mock-ups, multiple steps before we even touch the teeth.
Yeah, I just wanted to request you to very briefly take us through this process of a smile makeover.
Sure.
How does it start, and how does it end, and how long does it take?
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously the initial appointment would be the patient coming here, telling me what is it that they want out of this. Then only after my first assessment, initial assessment, I do what's called study models, and we take photos of all the teeth. I talk to my master technician, and we see, is it realistic what they want, and how do we achieve it? What is the pathway? Then at the next appointment, I present that to them. And with that as well, I present what's called the mock-up, which is just a model that we took the initial time, and they create the teeth as they see best with wax, and I place that in their mouth, and we get to discuss what changes we want, if any. And we might go through this mock-up stage a few times, and then take photos, take videos, show them, how they speak now, what they look like with the new sets of teeth. This is all before touching their teeth. Once we are all fully happy, that means me, the technician, and the patient, 100%, we set up the appointment. And usually if it's a full smile makeover, which means top and bottom, I close my day for that patient. I don't want to see anybody else. I focus just on that patient. And roughly, they're in the temporary between 10 days to 14 days before it's the day of cementation. To place the teeth.
Sorry?
The day of cementation, which means we remove the temporaries and we place the teeth one by one.
So you replace all the real teeth, is it?
We cover, yes. So it's still your own tooth, but your own teeth get covered, and it's with multiple. It can be a veneer, which is, I always say, it's like a very thin nail just coming right over the teeth. That's veneers. Crowns, and then we have different types of crowns. If we have spaces and implants were placed, we put implant crowns. And with the best thing with dentistry, I think our technology may not be at, going as fast as we like, but really in the laboratory, I just placed a case where we had an implant crown next to veneers. And honestly, we could not tell the difference, which is an implant crown, which is a veneer. So the technology in the laboratory is amazing right now.
And how long does all this take?
2 weeks maximum.
The end to end.
End to end. But I always say it's an investment like everything else. And it's not one that, we know the feel good is to go shopping, grab something that moment, makes you happy, and then 2 days later, you're like, it lost its value. This one, honestly, with age, you only gain value.
And so is it intrusive? It is, right?
Depending. So if it's a tooth that's been badly broken down or really decayed or had a root canal, obviously you have to prepare it for a crown. But a lot of times, like I said, because of grinding, people have just worn down their teeth. Mm-hmm. So when they're worn down, the back teeth, what happens is you lose your vertical dimension. So instead of being like this, you're more like this. So how do we open the vertical? I add tabletops to the back teeth to open the vertical, or else we get the rounded chin. And I always tell people, imagine an imaginary line between the tip of your nose and the tip of your chin. This shortens with time. So when we want to open that, it's quite simple actually. We just add to the tops of the back teeth. So everything that was worn down that probably is now sensitive. I'm going to be working on a patient tomorrow as we speak, where she actually has to take pills before she eats because she's so sensitive because she's worn down her teeth so much. So this is going to really help her.
How many, what's the kind of demand here in Dubai for smile makeovers?
Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. Like I said,
on an average, if you were to put a number to it, what would it be like?
How many patients a month?
Yeah.
To be honest, many ask, but I don't do. And I know they'll go down the street to do it. Mm-hmm. The reason being is if I feel that with a bit of whitening and a bit of ortho, which is movement of teeth, whether it's with Invisalign or braces, you will get, and if people like to call it Hollywood smile or they just want to call it the natural, beautiful smile, I'm always for the natural, beautiful smile. I always tell people should look at you and say, you have a gorgeous smile, but should never catch on that you did veneers or crowns or any of that.
So your first preference would be to go down that route and then
Absolutely. And then if only I feel that, no, this is definitely an ideal case for a smile makeover, that's when we discuss it.
Okay.
So I know I lose clients because, or I don't. They trust me enough to say, okay, I'll do what you say. And maybe 5-10 years down the road, I always tell people, I'm here for the long run. This is home to me. So don't be afraid. I'm going nowhere. Let's give it time. So no rush.
So, what is the other process called where you put the crowns and the implants and the...
That's the full mouth rehabilitation.
Mouth rehabilitation.
Yes.
Full mouth
rehabilitation. And a lot of times that can be combined with the smile makeover. So let's say we're doing that all with their back teeth, and at the same time we want to correct and beautify the front teeth, you can do that. So the front teeth might be veneers, whereas the back have the implants and the crowns and the tabletops, all of